Welcome to Lost 101. To understand what the show is all about, you must first become familiar with the geography of Lost. For the most part, Lost takes place on a remote and mysterious island, the exact location of which is still unknown. The main characters are the survivors of Oceanic Flight 815, which crashes on the island during a flight from Sydney, Australia to Los Angeles, California. The island becomes a new home for these crash survivors, but they soon learn it is not your typical deserted island. Without time to brush up on their jungle survival basics, the survivors have their work cut out for them. Living on a deserted tropical island without modern amenities takes a lot of skill, courage, and team effort, since simple mistakes made in the wild can have fatal consequences. Luckily, the survivors group includes a doctor, a carpenter, the son of a fisherman, and someone with an unexplained affinity for living in the wild.
The ground here has been rooted up. That's how boars get the majority of their food. They dig.
With such a diverse group of people forced to live together or die alone, you have a unique opportunity to observe the complex subject of group dynamics. One can study these interactions in terms of philosophy, politics, economics,
how much?
Or psychology, as friendships are tested and betrayed, rocky romances are kindled, and personal sacrifices are made. Difficult decisions fall upon the shoulders of reluctant leaders, and as power struggles emerge, divisions amongst the survivors are created, preventing any kind of organized social structure in this new society.
Stop! It seems like someone's getting punched or stabbed or something every other day here.
Without an established government or justice system, everyone on the island must struggle with their own moral decisions and deal with the sometimes unpleasant repercussions of their own actions and those of the other survivors.
That can't be a polar bear.
It's a polar bear.
Unexplained phenomena and possibly supernatural forces plague the group, creating fear and paranoia.
Guys, where are we?
Group dynamics become even more complicated as the survivors discover there are other people on the island as well. They encounter a French woman living in the jungle and a man inside an underground bunker who claims to be saving the world. Also on the island are a mysterious group of people known as the Others, who prove to be hostile neighbors.
This is our island.
Some of our survivors, including a soldier, a fugitive wanted for murder, and a con man, are especially helpful when the Others take violent action against the survivors and their camp.
If any of them are stupid enough to get in your way, kill them.
The Others are led by a man who is of questionable character, someone who lies and manipulates and appears to be a serious threat to those who stand in the way of his ambiguous goals. But deciding how to justifiably retaliate against this leader and the rest of the Others becomes a constant moral dilemma for both the survivors and the audience.
Okay, James, let's execute him right here, right now, in front of his daughter.
The action and intrigue of Lost are not limited to just the events happening on the island. Through flashbacks, we get a glimpse into each character's past with special attention paid to family relationships. This allows us to psychologically analyze how their past experiences are influencing their decision-making on the island. Some are seeking redemption, some are given a chance to start over, and some are seemingly healed by the island's mysterious properties.
It's not an island. It's a place where miracles happen.
The survivors are forced to work together with the Others when a freighter appears unexpectedly offshore.
Sit tight. We'll be right there.
A few of the survivors believe the freighter is their chance at rescue, but some of the people on board have dangerous agendas for the island and its inhabitants.
They're here.
Amid the chaos, 6 survivors manage to leave the island and return to the civilized world, becoming known as the Oceanic Six. They never divulged the truth of what happened to them after the plane crash.
Is it possible there are any other survivors from the crash yet to be discovered?
No, absolutely not.
They agree to lie, in the hopes that doing so will protect the ones they left behind from the man responsible for sending the freighter, a man who seemingly wants to exploit the island and its properties for his own ends.
That island's mine, Benjamin. It always was. It will be again.
The group that remains behind defend themselves by turning to the ancient past of the island. Deep underground, they use a device that moves the entire island out of harm's way. The move has side effects, however, as the island and all the people on it begin uncontrollably traveling through time. But a brilliant physicist is on hand to explain the complex ramifications of time travel.
Think of the island like a record, spinning on a turntable. Only now, that record is skipping.
Meanwhile, back in Los Angeles, the Oceanic Six are having a hard time returning to normal life. With personal demons resurfacing and scores left unsettled. Eventually, they are persuaded to believe the only way to save the friends they left behind is for all of them to return to the island.
We have to go back, Kate.
However, not everything goes according to plan. They find their way back to the island, but inexplicably also find themselves back in time.
It's 1977. What?
Their friends have been living amongst a scientific community known as the Dharma Initiative, but this utopian society may not be what it seems.
It doesn't matter what happened to him, because knowing that is not your job. Your job is to do what I tell you to.
The survivors hatch a plan to set things right.
We can change our destiny.
But unbeknownst to the survivors, an ancient rivalry may have been influencing the destiny of everyone on the island from the very beginning. As you can see, Lost is a show about many things we can relate to and study in the real world as well. From science, to psychology, to philosophy, to the supernatural, to the very basics of human interaction and survival. Now that you have a general understanding of what the show is about and the characters it revolves around, you are ready to enroll in your first semester at Lost University.